Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway. It's a warm welcome. In fact, it's not even a warm welcome. It's a red-hot welcome here in Florida. The sun is already above the horizon and the temperatures are rising. It's going to be a fabulous day to go racing, and we are concluding our Daytona Classic 24 hours presented by Mission Foods this weekend. It's all about this next segment, these next races. We call them segments. There's been 4. We've already had 126 minutes. We're about to finish off after a 168-minute 4-race format. It's all about now. It's wherever you've been overnight. We've been racing since 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We've even taken in the clocks going back. So we had 2 races at 1 a.m. That wasn't confusing. But here we are this morning. The sun is up. My name is Joe Bradley.
Actually have a draft coming down the front straight, Joe.
We've still got the Porsche Datsun battle going out on the banking, and they're still together. The 1974 Porsche 911, we mentioned the Ira there, that's Craig Conway there, just staying ahead of the red Datsun. They're about to be joined by Yves Samama, it looks like. Yves is just in that Porsche, just behind them there, third in that car trim. But the 240s, they're two very, very different cars, two very different engineering concepts. That's a late joiner. That's going to add another car. It's David Roberts in the 1974, another IROC car, and he would start this race 3 laps down. But it's not about that.
Andor gave them a really hard time and occasionally came out on top. A few more cars pitting here, Joe. Just mentioning, we have the white Porsche. We have that gorgeous Ford Capri as well. So starting to get in.
Let's head down to the pits for Jeff Wright, who's right there in the midst and the thick of everything going on there. Jeff.
Thank you, Joe. We're here with Nick Matthews. Nick, you just got out of the Capri. You guys are showing 6 on the board right now. You've been having a pretty good week here and pretty good day.
Yeah, we've had lots of issues, but we're still running and really enjoying it. Thank you. Really excellent.
Car feeling good? I mean,
it's great.
Feeling good for the morning?
Yeah, no, great. The guys had to do some work last thing before we got on the grid, but we were on the grid.
So Griffiths is going to take it the rest of the way out?
Just say again, sorry.
The co-driver Griffiths is going to take it the rest of the way out?
Yeah. Co-driver will finish the race, hopefully.
And there he goes back underway, Joe.
Thank you, Jeff. One of my first cars was a Capri, Mark 1.5 as it was called in Europe. It looked exactly the same as that, same light cluster at the back. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Capris. Made me very popular with girls at 17. And at 17 I needed all the help I could get. And that car there, I have to thank a lot. Not that particular car of Nick Matthews, of course, but you know what I mean. And I'm delighted. Big round of applause. Nick Matthews got the car out, I think, in his second segment. He's completed 42 laps as he came into this segment, and I think he'll be happy just to get the car to the flag and finish the event. It's not necessarily about where you finish, it's all about being here and competing, I think, at this level. Yes, there are elements of competitors here who, for instance, Jared Lopez, Marcel Fassler, they came here to do the double-double. They've achieved 1 double, looking very they're not going to manage the Group F double. More of that later when we get to them. But right now, Nick Matthews and Griffiths, and enjoying that Ford Capri, liveried as it was at Le Mans in 1973. Now, it's hard to believe that a Ford Capri, albeit a V6 engine, 2.6 litre Ford Capri, actually ran at Le Mans. Incredible.
Singing motor in that car, that V6.
It was himself and George Toomer and Jim Pierce, God rest their souls. But they made this event happen, and what a great idea. It was, all right, I remember speaking to George Toomer, and he got the idea, looking at the Le Mans Classic, looking at the format of the Le Mans Classic, and we've kind of matched that and emulated that in the same format of kind of heats, aggregating to an accumulative score. But that was 2014. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Not exactly the 10th running, because we didn't run in 16, I believe. We came back in 17, 2014, 2015, back in 17. But yeah, I mean, this event is now very firmly, certainly on the US Classic calendar, and it's sort of it's pricking up attention from Europe as well, as we've heard lots of British accents, we've heard lots of French accents and Italian accents. It is becoming quite an event to make that journey across the Atlantic to be part of.
Just under 14 minutes left to go in this race. Joe, want to pick up on a couple of things that you'd mentioned we were going on to, talking about that beautiful Porsche 935, for example. You having seen that run in period when it was brand new, the great memories that it brought to you. Always mindful of the fact that there are folks of whatever age seeing that car run for the first time today. So that big impression it made on you 40 odd years ago, it is doing for the first time for someone here running right now. Something again that I love so much about historic racing. These might be the cars of yesteryear, but if you're seeing them for the first time, they're speaking to you.
Yeah.
Folks will want to come back, but also capture them in their own ways again, whether it is TikTok related, Instagram, you name it, the modern ways of capturing and sharing content compared to those old magazines and whatnot that you and I bought and looked at and probably still have. But just the fact that these cars never age in that capacity. For our eyes, many of these cars have connections when we first saw them and built the passion within us. That building of passion is happening today, this moment, this lap for many folks. So I love that about historic racing, bringing everything from the past forward, but also the competition side. Obviously, everyone comes here, flies cars in, trailers them out, sends crews. It's a big production for each team. We have these races. We have amazing BRM wall clocks that get awarded to those who have great success at the events. We know that those are the trappings at the end, but ultimately, why is everybody here on the competitive side? Because they love driving. So guess what? Here we are, Sunday morning, been racing for what feels like nearly 24 hours. We're not quite there yet, but for so many, they might be laps down. There might be no chance of visiting the podium, but there's joy because the underlying aspect of why they're here isn't chasing awards and clocks and spraying champagne. That would be the beautiful benefit at the end, but the raw passion and love for driving, that is indeed what has all of our entrants here, all of our drivers here. So the lap chart's a wonderful thing in historic racing, but you know there's smiles in every single car, no matter where they're going to place. About to wind down, put it away. No, we're not slowing down.
They're not. Absolutely. We saw that in Group A earlier on this morning before we went live on the live stream. And again, mentioning the live stream, Matador Motorsports, how can we ever thank you? We're able to share this and share the love across the world, not just across America, but across the world. We've got people messaging us from literally everywhere, and they've tuned in. They want to see these cars, and I think what the Matador Motorsports live stream is going to enable this event to do is to grow, is to absolutely grow, and we'll soon be getting people travelling from. Yeah, incredible. 93,000 live views. Wow, 93,000. So, yeah, if we have, we're going to need more marshals on the car parking if we get 93,000 people to come to this event. But, I mean, that's people are going to see this and go, I want to actually see that Capri in the flesh. That Capri, this Capri, up close, it's got all the stickers there from the 73 Le Mans 24 Hours. It's got all the event sponsors in very discreetly, but there, as the regulations had to have it in 73. And Nick Matthews, big round of applause to you for A, bringing that car out, and B, for absolutely making that a showpiece of a car. And yes, you've had some bad luck losing an engine last night, but all credit to you guys down there for rolling your sleeves up and getting on with it to give us the pleasure of seeing that car out on track.
One of the things, Joe, for sure, whether it's here in HSR, a lot of Capris of those that are still in the wild and running are found across Europe, UK in particular, but might have a little bit of something dangling beneath that Capri, by the way. We'll keep an eye on that, but knowing that Porsches tend to dominate the entry list wherever we go for historic racing, these Capris, anytime they're on track, tend to bring everyone out to the fences.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
look amazing, sound amazing, always a rock star wherever they appear.
And there it is, the checkered flag. Beautiful car. But talking of beautiful cars, there's our overall winner, making his way down to the podium area. He'll be waved through underneath the Rolex arch. He comes down to his pit garage. There'll be somebody there to greet him and show him where he needs to be. That's Jim Norman.